So whether you're jumping on live or you're watching the recording of this, I just want to apologise. If the camera moves, it's because just as I was about to go live, the tripod, my favourite tripod, broke. I'm in a makeshift office downstairs in the spare bedroom because my partner's home today and he's using the office. I said he could. He's up there doing his tax and stuff. So the screen might wiggle a little bit. And I could have actually just not done the live, right? But the point was I said I was going to do it. And so I'm here doing it because one of the things that I find holds people back, it doesn't matter what business they have, but let's say you're the face of your business and you're the coach, which is probably who's watching this. And one of the ways to make yourself do the thing is to make yourself publicly accountable, not necessarily accountable to one other person that you may or may not be afraid of, but to possibly lose face, meaning you're not a person of your word, is one of the greatest factors for motivator I find, or I've found, which is one of the reasons I've often done seminars to teach people things, and then that turned into marketing. So, and that's only from realizing when I look back over the last 20 years what's worked. That's something I'm going to talk about today, not the fact that you may or may not need to do seminars. They do work brilliantly, by the way, if they're done a certain way. And the certain way that they get to be done is that they get to be not done with the expectation of the outcome that you're necessarily going to sell a certain amount of something from the day. And I don't think that everybody needs to do them, but they do create a fantastic level of authority. And when I say not everybody needs to do them, what I mean is it doesn't suit everybody's personality to do that. For some people, it's just far too scary a thing to do, any kind of public speaking. And I actually want to reiterate that really you only need to speak to a small group of people because it just creates the most amazing flow-on effect for authority around whatever subject matter it is that you're speaking about. And you're not giving a university lecture, so really the topics, let's say you're a fitness professional, the topics really only need to be around what would be the first couple of things that you would say to people in your first few sessions with them as a client. It really needs to be that simple. This is the stuff that I teach. Now, that's one way to create authority, but what I want to give you is an overarching feeling of the feeling that you get to have is if any of your marketing or any of your business structure, for example, is feeling not quite right, there could be a couple of things that are happening. So that's really important to address first. Those couple of things that are happening, one of them might be that you're potentially doing the thing expecting a certain outcome and then getting really upset when that certain outcome doesn't actually work, or you're not giving it enough goes for anything to happen. Now, when I say the certain outcome doesn't work, what I mean is maybe you're doing the thing and you're expecting then people to book in with you you're expecting them to contact you to book in to buy your services, however that looks, whatever those services are, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's groups, whether it's your online program because you're traveling interstate and you're doing a talk, or you might just be, having a small workshop. It doesn't really matter. But if you're expecting something, that's where the glitch is. The way to make marketing, which is really just communication with strangers about what you do, so you get to be a lifelong student of getting that to be clearer, getting it to be more in flow, having it be easier for people to understand. Lifelong student. There's no swipe file that you can get for that where you put your own words in. There just isn't. And I'm only saying that because, having followed people and spent 6 figures at least on coaching and understanding, I'm copying and pasting other people's stuff in some of those courses, probably because that's actually what we were supposed to do. But if the vibe doesn't align with you, and I mean it really does need to come from you, that's when it will be disconnected and it won't work. So there's what's going on with you, and then there's that will determine if the marketing works. Even if you do an ad and it's exactly the same as somebody else's ad, it just won't work. I'm just not sure why the stats are not working. I'm sure maybe you've tried stuff like this before. I'm not sure why it's working. It worked for them over there, or maybe you funnel hacked, if you know what that is. Even if you don't know what that is, it's just really another word for copying somebody else's stuff. So Yeah, you can get mediocre results, but you won't get the best results ever. And it also won't feel good. And for you to be able to do things consistently, for you to be able to deliver and show up, you really get to you have to, you know this as a coach anyway. You know, if you're a busy personal trainer like I was multiple years ago, I was like seeing hundreds of people a week. Not in one-on-one sessions, obviously, they're in groups of 6 actually. But there was a lot of traffic going on, and as in traffic, as in people. But it meant that you have to look after numero uno. If you don't look after number one, then you're not the best version of yourself to be delivering anything. You're not the best version of yourself to be putting any energy and effort into any other relationship that you might want to have as well. And like, let's face it, you're doing the business so that you can enjoy your life. And I think the business is part of life, so it gets to be enjoyable as well. Why the hell not? I think we're starting a new wave, a new revolution. We're a new generation doing business. I know I do things very, very differently to the way my mum and dad hustled. My poor my dad's passed away now, but my mum and dad worked very hard in a blue collar business that they owned themselves, but they were up very, very early, and then they would receive phone calls through the night that things had gone wrong, and they'd be up at 3 o'clock. And not the point, but I know that they worked hard, but they didn't enjoy themselves hard either. You know, so there was no balance, there was no payoff. The work wasn't art either. And funny enough, my mum is actually incredibly artistic. She that has gone down our genetic line, because I used to love art at school. And Stella's really good at it as well, but she's an oil painter. Mum's an oil painter, and it's a shame because Mum and Dad broke up when I think I was 21, and she sold everything that was in the house at a garage sale. She sold my artwork as well. I've since gone on to try to find some of it unsuccessfully though. But anyway, the reason I went down that track of artwork is if you're slightly inclined that way, slightly creative, then I promise you can actually focus on those strengths. But to make the business grow, one of those things is to make sure that things align with how you feel. And I don't mean that you can get out of doing things that are scary, because you can't get out of doing things that are scary. There are things that need to be done that are scary. We have to be pushing our comfort level. If you're a fitness professional and you're watching this is exactly what you do to people's bodies on purpose. We do it on purpose so that the body grows and adapts and gets faster, gets fitter, gets stronger, gets leaner, and all of the results become a fabulous side effect. And the side effect for the client as well is that they actually start to become a person who can do all these amazing things mentally outside their appointments with you, right? Business is just the same. It's the same as pushing yourself to do the extra couple of reps. It's also the same as resting so you can recover from pushing yourself from doing all the extra reps. So there's a lot of similarities, but actually think of business in terms of how you would actually prescribe a program to somebody. I presume if you know what you're doing, you analyze the person that you're giving the program to. Let's say a new client comes to see you, you need to know how long have they been training for, any injuries, any movement things, what their goals are, what the time frame is they want to achieve it by. And then you can apply stuff to them, and then hopefully they change it, and it's in the regular catch-ups with them that you can tweak things to their life, because they can't actually always implement things, right? But there's no way that what you would do is copy and paste the template from person A over here and give it to Fred, give Betty the same thing as Fred, or give Fred the same thing as Betty, even though they're totally different. I know that you probably will do that if you're brand new. That's okay, as long as you monitor them. I guess you've got to start somewhere, right? But to an experienced coach, there's no way we do that. We design it for the person. Business is the same. It is the same. And I guess I'm enforcing the point, exaggerating the point, purely because I love it when people are able to learn and shorten the curve. It's literally taken me since 2012. That's coming up 10 years. It's taken me about that long to really deeply understand this, and I'm understanding it more and more each day. That if we don't tune in to ourselves, to how this is feeling, And this is the other thing with clients and getting results with their body. I don't know about you, but I was renowned and made it my absolute 100% focus goal task to get them results in a couple of weeks so that they were motivated to keep going. Now, sometimes the results were to get out of pain. A lot of the time the results were to get fit and lose fat. And it was my job to do that around whatever issues were going on with them. Now, I would often refer them out if I needed to other specialists because I don't think that we know everything. But I believe that principle needs to be passed over for business, because if you're doing the right thing with your advertising, if you're doing the right thing with your messaging and your marketing and explaining to people randomly like this in a video what it is that you do, by the way, all the stuff that I talk about is the stuff that I help people with, because I understand it on the next level of how it's actually helped me and how it's helped hundreds of people now, hundreds of people that have done my VIP course. And then occasionally I'll open up my diary to just doing random one-on-one sessions. They've got to do a couple of sessions depending on the experience of the coach, right? Depending. But it really changes for them when they go into the container of the VIP group. Now, I don't even, where was I going with that? So many different places, so many different paths. The thing to understand is that, and I made a few posts about this morning, is that there's no templated PDF that is the right one for you to download, for you to copy, unfortunately. I do believe, though, that it is very important to learn all of those rules so then you know which ones to adapt for yourself and which ones to break. Because especially at the moment, it is a really confusing on the internet. You can find a PDF that's helpful, that tells you that it's healthy, to smoke cigarettes or to vape or whatever the hell that is. Like, you can actually find information to prove anything. You can find information on how to sell this and how to sell that, on how to run your business for this, how to run your business for that. How many of those PDFs do you actually open and take action on? I know I've got a lot of free things like that I've downloaded over the years, still sitting in my inbox. Yeah, sometimes I read them, sometimes I don't. The best information to do is really, even if you're listening to someone with free information, put the blinkers on and don't listen to anybody else for a while and try the stuff on and see if it works for you, because after a couple of goes, you'll know it might be scary. The first attempt of doing anything is potentially scary, isn't it? And this is what you do for people as a coach, because I bet the first attempt at a chin-up, your clients wouldn't be trying that just because they read it in a PDF. 99% of the population would go, I'm not doing that. Why would I want to do that? Yes, I might want the result, but I don't understand how that's going to happen. Now, do you stand there and do you explain to them for 2 weeks how that's going to work? Or do you just get them to do the chin-ups? Obviously, if they're ready for it, but do you just get them to do the chin-ups and in 2 weeks, they know how it works? Like, within a couple of sessions, you know how that works. It's a massive exercise. It's the same as doing a squat properly. It's the same as doing a bench properly. It's the same as doing a deadlift properly. And it's the same as doing any kind of marketing properly. It works quickly. It's not a quick path, though, to copy everybody else's template to be able to figure it out. And as I said, learn the rules so that you can break them. Learn how to market, extract your message from yourself, and understand that it's got to be an authentic way to do that that's authentic to you. Doesn't necessarily mean you use seminars. It doesn't necessarily mean you use videos. It doesn't necessarily mean you write a long post, a short post, a post written on your t-shirt that you take a picture of. It's irrelevant. You do actually have to spread your message, though. Marketing does need to be done, and I understand from being a really good coach. I thought I was late online in 2012, but I understand from being quite technical that I just thought I just thought I'll do more courses, and I was really busy. And I was okay at organic, natural, face-to-face marketing way before all Facebook and MySpace and all that kind of stuff. I could build a business in quite a quick time in a new town because I've moved to a lot. And then social media came around. But it wasn't because I stayed safe. Like, I had to meet a lot of people. I had to network. I had to stand up in front of people that I didn't know and share the stuff that I did know. But you know what? The underlying why I was doing it is because and this is what you get to adapt for yourself, it meant something to me intrinsically inside of me. I know that I'm a teacher. I'm not actually a qualified school teacher. That's not what I mean. What I mean is I love teaching. I love helping people get people across the line, helping them discover the reasons for themselves. So, which is really important. So when you figure out how you actually like to do things, that's probably how you coach your clients, and you can take a piece of that and you can use it for marketing, and you have to be doing marketing, meaning you just tell people about your services, like with a bit of helpful advice as well, something like that, right? It's not actually rocket science. I mean, it did actually cost me quite a bit of money to figure out how to do it in a way that worked, and now I've gone back to breaking the rules. So yeah, I guess I'm a little bit of a cowboy. No, I like to say it's your marketing and the way you do your business as individual as your fingerprint. It is. Yes, there are templates. If you want to open a shop, for example, yeah, you definitely need to do a SWOT analysis and a proper business plan, especially if you want funds, from the bank. But if you're not doing it that way, if you're using this free platform called social media, and if you're not, then you need to be, then there are a gazillion different ways to do things, but they must align with you. So try them, try people's methods on, have a proper go at it, put the blinkers on, don't listen to anybody else while you're doing this stuff. There's plenty of other courses apart from myself that I could highly recommend. Send me a message if you've got any questions about any of that stuff, and I will gladly help you. I'll also gladly refer you to other people, especially the people who are ethical, that can help you build funnels. It's a very, it's got to suit you, basically. You've got to go to bed at night and actually feel okay. Not only are you helping people, but it's not meant to be that hard. Okay, it might hurt and be scary, but once you've done the set of chin-ups, it's done and it's over, right? It's that quick. And then it works, right? It's 40 seconds. Maybe it's not 40 seconds, it might be 4 minutes or 4 hours. But it's not 4 weeks of preparation. It's not even that. It's not 4 months of preparation. If you're doing all of that and you still haven't got a result, it's the wrong thing. So change, but give it enough time to see if it works. Meaning apply it 2 or 3 times, and it'll feel good. You'll get into the flow if it's the right thing for you to do, and then your flow might change, as it does with us girls, especially with artistic, creative ones. Any questions to do with anything to do with your business, let me know. If you're local, I'm going to do a local event where I give away everything, like every structure, online, face-to-face marketing, business, making a greater income, from high-end packages, low-end packages, all my stories and client stories to do with how to execute all that stuff. Excuse me. I don't have the details ready for that yet, so send me a message if you're watching this video and I'll send them to you. And it will probably be in Geelong, and it will be at the end of May. So Melbourne people, get on it, because it will be worth it's. I could probably sell something like this for $900, $1,200, but I'm not. I'm actually just miss talking to people real life, face to face, because I'm used to having hundreds of people in my week. So you get to benefit until I actually do put a price tag on this. I will talk to you soon. Let me know how you go. Let me know if you've got any questions in relation to your coaching business.